Hi, we're back in Marlene's calligraphy studio again today and working on another really simple job, but today I wanted to take a little bit deeper look into the process that goes into lettering. At least for me, it may be a little bit different for each individual calligrapher. This is a place card, but it's also a menu, and so what we're going to do is letter the individual's name at the top. It's a very contemporary look, so we're going to use my custom script called Marlean's Modern. And in order to do Marlean's Modern, we first need this, which pull out just a little bit. This is a nib holder, and of course we'll need a nib. And I'm going to use a vintage modified slant nib, which a lot of people probably don't use. I actually found these nibs at a consignment store, and probably nobody else is going to buy them. And so what you see is a classic writing nib, and it's straight, and there's not a lot of flexibility to it, because to do this particular lettering style, I don't need to have that. So that nib is going to go in the holder. I don't know if you can get close, and push in as so. And if you can pull out a little bit, that's what I'm going to be writing with today. Okay, now what I've actually done already, and I'm just going to show you if you can come in real close, is I've drawn a light pencil line across the top here. And that I do that just to give myself an idea of where I'm going to place the name. And then I take a technical pencil, not this pen, but a technical pencil, which has a really, fine point, and I pencil in the name at the top. Now, I may not pencil in the rest of them, but just to deal with where I'm going to position the names and how the centering looks, I pencil in the name right at the top. What this also does is gives me an idea of the size of the lettering and the width of the line. And then I look into my archives of guidelines, which I have right here. If you can pull out a little bit, I can show them the whole sheet. Those are my guidelines. This is another calligrapher trick, I should say. Sometimes I actually pencil in and do it that way. Other times what I do is take these guidelines, and before I put the name on the paper, pull out just a little bit, Marlean, I go ahead and I may just letter the name first on the guidelines, either in regular ink like so, or with a soft pencil. And once I've lettered it in here, I'll show you this in a minute, we can place this over the guideline, line it up to the line that's underneath, and have a nice guide on here, and be able to easily center the name. We're going to come back in a little bit and I'll show you how that goes. Okay, so what I have done, I've gone ahead and just penciled in the name on here, and when I actually complete the rest of the menus, I will pencil all the names in, and this will become my actual guide. But now I have my light on underneath my table. I have a pretty modern desk here, and I can actually place my light underneath the table. So I'm going to take the menu and very simply place it over the name. I'm going to take the line that I've drawn and line it up with the guidelines. And I can see through the paper. You may not be able to see it. And then what I do is I always sort of take my pen, my nib holder rather, and sort of guide the centering. So I want to have an even amount on each side. So I see that's a little bit off on the left side, so I'm going to slide the paper over just a hair, and let's try it again. That's the end of the name. Okay, I'm just a little bit more, so I'm going to nudge it over just a teeny weeny bit more, and I think that centering looks pretty good, so now it's time to letter. And so I'm using black sumi ink, so I'm going to dip my nib, clean it off first. I'm going to dip my nib into the ink. Get a little bit of, a little over dipping right there, a little bit of ink on the nib. Of course, I always do, a little bit of a test stroke, just to get any excess off. And we're going to letter Marlean's Modern. It's a very contemporary script, very straight, clean architectural lines. And I'm going to do this kind of slow. Very simple letter form. Clean and modern. There's a first name, And on this script, I like the letters to have a little bit of width to it, so I extend the tops of the letters out just a little bit. And then my R's, I like to raise them up to keep them very clean and slick and straight. And then the last letter is a K, which I like to take it below the line. And there you have it. Marlean's Modern on a menu. And that's the whole entire process.